Hola Madridistas, welcome to the preview for the second El Clasico of the season. It's a chance to win the first silverware of 2025 for both teams and maybe a bit of revenge, for what happened last time in the El Clasico. Joining me today is a man in demand. He's been going on other streams, especially around the El Clasico. It's Omar, a certified Barcelona fan with his own YouTube channel. The links are down in the description below if you want to check him out and, support him. But before we actually get into the thick of things, a quick word from our sponsors for this episode, Manscaped. They are the pioneers in the male grooming space, as you guys know. So they have a ton of affordable and quality products to help you look your best. So head on over to manscaped.com and use code LBR20 for 20% off and free shipping. Right, man, Omar. Last time when we met for the El Clasico preview, Barcelona was in red hot form. It seemed like Barcelona could do no wrong, and things were just looking up because at that point you had a lot of injured players. Players were just starting to come back, and we were all expecting Barcelona to maybe run away with the league, but that did not exactly go to plan. So, what's the general feeling as a Barcelona fan? How you've been dealing with it?
You're right, man. Last time we did this preview, I was in a very, very good place, much more confident than I am now. We were doing well, great start to the season. Everything was going perfectly well, and fortunately, we came back to reality. The old Barcelona of last season decided to come back for one more try, and from the month, basically, it's funny because literally after that Clasico, I would say we basically were never the same after that. And well, we've gone from being the hunted to now the hunter. You understand what I'm saying? So we are now third in the table. We're struggling. We were struggling, but it's the new year. We started the new year real well. We won in the Copa del Rey. We had a good win against Athletic Bilbao, and come back to the El Clasico. I feel like Madrid after the last El Clasico, I'm sure they have a point to prove against us. But I think that we should just gain confidence. Just do our thing because we're gonna get into the preview. But I saw I watched your game against Mallorca. It was comfortable in the end, but at the end of the day, you guys were very. I feel like going forward, right? You guys were very wasteful. You understand what I'm saying? And you don't want to really do that against us, especially you saw against Bilbao how wasteful they were against us and how we capitalized on their wastefulness. So yeah, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it.
I did catch some of the Bilbao game. That's what frustrated me, man. Like, you guys with that high line still going on, you guys were still for the taking, and then Bilbao just weren't sharp enough in front of goal. And then I don't think you're right. We just can't afford to be doing that. But yeah,
Mm.
I just want to ask you like the major question, which is like, why the drop in form for Barcelona? Like, is it just the players or is it a tactical issue? But before we get into that, Ashik is in the comments. He says, uh,
Mm.
Omar, you're a certified Barcelona fan with an Atalanta United hat. I would have thought they'd have an Inter Miami hat. Didn't Atlanta take out Miami, lol?
Well, yes, but you don't seem. I don't think you this my guy here realizes I'm from Atlanta. So even
Hmm.
though yes, I'm a Messi is my favorite player. I'm from Atlanta, man. I'm always gonna support my hometown team. I supported my hometown team when we knocked out Atlanta into Miami. You can be damn sure I was celebrating. I didn't care. I'm from Atlanta. That's why I'm wearing this.
All right, there you go. Ashik also says Laporta celebrating the registration of players like they won the Champions League. LMAO. Well,
I mean, let's be real. When we didn't he got unregistered, we were the laughing stock.
yep.
You understand what I'm saying, right? I get your point, but I feel like it's more important on who was unregistered because Danny Olmo was one of our key players, right? And not registering him was embarrassing, and also he was very integral to the team. So I think that the fact that we ended up registering him, despite the odds being against us, is what it was about. You understand what I'm saying? But I do agree a little bit. The fact that we had to go through all this saga was just it was kind of embarrassing from a Barca's point of view.
Yeah, but what did you actually think about Rafinha's comments? He was actually coming out and telling the truth, but we even saw
Mhm.
video surface that Laporta actually went over to him and had a long talk with him. What do you think those guys were talking about?
Listen, I understand. You're a captain. You feel like you need to talk about the club, but I feel like sometimes if you don't know enough about what is happening, you need to just be quiet. Because here's the thing: at the end of the day, Rafinha, I don't know what happens inside of the club. You understand what I'm saying, right? But what I know for sure is we have, since the pandemic, we have not been the same club. You understand what I'm saying, right? And it's not even just us. Like you and Madrid fans, you guys handled it better than we did. You understand what I'm saying, right? And
We lose you there.
you guys handled it better than we did. You know
Hmm.
what's that?
No, no, I
Yeah,
just lost.
you guys handled it better. That's why you
Yep.
guys were even in the transfer window. You remember, you guys were not really going out to buy players like superstar. You were trying to get players for free, like Rudiger, Alaba, all these guys you got in for free. You understand what I'm saying, right? You were very smart in the transfer window. That's why people, I guess, people didn't really see it. You understand what I'm saying, right? And we've been having our struggles, but just that our situation was much worse in that we were more our team needed the building for a long time, which we ignored for years, and that's why we were struggling. You understand what I'm saying, right? And after the whole thing with the VIP seats, now we've gone now to a point now we have now we've actually now got to the rules, to the 1+1 rule. Basically, the 101 rule that exists in La Liga now, where now started in the 25-26 transfer window, we can actually go out and actually buy as much as revenue as we get in every season. So that means starting from next season, we can actually go and actually buy the players we want to sign. You understand what I'm saying, right? So everything that's happened with the Danny Olmo thing was still before this, before we were in accordance of the 101 rule. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we had to, basically register Chris Olmo in a temporary deal. You understand what I'm saying? And in the end, it was embarrassing how it ended, but
Yep. So,
beggars can't be choosers.
are you
You
saying
know,
that all of Barcelona's financial troubles are, finished as of 2025? Are you gonna be like maybe spending 100 million or something, or more than that in
I
the next
mean,
transfer window?
I don't think we can sign as crazy as we did in the past. It's just that basically, you know what the issue was, right? La Liga has a salary cap
Yeah.
where even if you can afford players, you need to. There's a line that you can't cross. You understand what I'm saying, right? And you've seen like the pictures of like where they show like, oh, this is the amount of wages that that the Real Madrid can put in their club. This amount of wages that Barcelona can put. This is the amount of wages that every club can put. You understand what I'm saying, right? And every club, when the season starts, they look at your wages and say, okay, cool. These are the players. After this, you can't sign any players after this. You understand what I'm saying, right? And
Yeah.
that was the thing. So that's why even you saw the Dani Olmo thing. We were able to sign Dani Olmo. We just couldn't register him. You understand what I'm saying? That's why in the transfer window in the summer, we could always bring in Dani Olmo. We needed to sign a winger. We needed to full back. We needed so many different areas. But even if we signed them, we would not have been able to register them. And now people are finally realizing that. I didn't know this in the beginning, but now when I look at them, like, okay, so I can see maybe this is the reason why we were not active in the transfer window as we needed to be. But I feel like next season, right, we are going to be clearing out, but also we can still go and actually buy players, and we wouldn't have to have the hassle of like, oh, well, we can afford this player, or La Liga is trying to get in the way, because now they've confirmed, La Liga have confirmed, we are now in the rules now. We can technically go and actually buy these players now. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's how I'm looking at it, and I'm very, very happy about that. But this whole situation with Daniel Olmo was definitely embarrassing from a Barca's point of view.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, 2025 sounds like, the year for Barcelona, at least in the transfer window. But do you think you'll actually get rid of some of the players? I know you've been trying to get rid of De Jong for so long because of his wages. Araujo's future seems really uncertain. There's, here talkings of an offer from Juventus. Do you think those two players are going to be leaving in the summer?
I'm gonna be very honest. I'm tired of like the saga, man.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I look at the De Jong situation, that thing has been happening now for seasons. I'm at the point now where I'm like, bro, for the sake of everybody, I just want this guy to leave. Because, bro, we can't be doing this every single season. Every season, I'm always hearing this guy being linked out of my club. I'm like, bro, is he like, does he want to stay? Does he want to go? Is the club trying to
Dude,
get rid of him?
why would De Jong want
What
to
is
leave? He has a very cushy job. He gets paid really well. Why would he want to leave?
Yeah, and also, and I'm also in a position because here's also the thing: we offered him a new contract. We offered him a new contract since last season, so he had not responded to that contract at all, and his contract runs out in 2026. So Barcelona were basically trying to protect their future, as far as like financially is concerned, and say, listen, at the end of the day, we want to know. The issue is this guy has not been speaking. He has not said he's gonna sign. He hasn't said he isn't gonna sign. He's just been quiet. And Barcelona now have to think about the future of the club because now they're like, listen, we don't know where your mindset is. Are you thinking about leaving or are you thinking about staying? You understand what I'm saying? So now the club have like withdrawn their offer. They're like, all right, cool. Since you don't want to make up your mind, we'll make up your mind for you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we have to think about the future of the club. We have to think about the future of the club, right? And we actually want to, because you just mentioned it. Next season, I feel like it's going to be a very important transfer window, right? So many players whose contract are running out, they're going to be sold next season if they don't sign a new contract. You
Yep.
understand what I'm saying, right? So at the end of the day, players like De Jong, they can sit there and take as much time as they want. The club is not going to be as patient anymore. The club now is saying, listen, you sign, you stay. You don't sign, we sell you. It's that simple. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's how I look at it. And I think that it's how big clubs move. You should be always trying to strive to be better, especially when you're trying to rebuild. Some players are overthinking it. If you're overthinking it, then clearly your mind is not with us. You gotta go. Araujo is the same thing. I was a big fan of Araujo. I have been defending this guy. This guy has been injured the whole season, right? Hasn't played a single minute this season, right? I'm thinking this guy's coming back. He understands the position of the club. We haven't had defenders. Christensen and Araujo have been injured. Kubashi and Inigo have been our center back partnership all season, right? And you come back, you hear that apparently Barca are looking at trying to sign another center back in Jonathan Tah. And now you are now thinking now, oh, there's too much competition in the team. I'm sorry, you're playing for Barcelona. What do you expect? You think that, like, do you go to Real Madrid and think that you're just gonna just sit down there and the left wing is mine? Nobody then never gonna sign a player in that position. No, bro. No, absolutely not. When like, you can be rest assured if Haaland is available in the summer, you think Real Madrid are gonna try to go and sign him?
Of course.
You think Real Madrid are gonna try? Bro, it is literally in the DNA of Madrid that if a player like that is available, they go sign him. Doesn't matter if Mbappe plays as a number 9. You will move you to the right. I don't care if Mbappe plays on the right. You will play on the right. You will learn to play on the right, or else you will lose your place. No team and no player is bigger than the club. And if you are a player and you see a player like Mbappe, see a player like Araujo, right? You're at Barcelona. You understand, okay, for the best of the club, if this guy is going to come into the club and we're going to actually improve, bring him on. I am not afraid of competition. But clearly, this guy is afraid of competition, and I'm one of those people. I'm like, listen, if you are not ready for the smoke of competition, then this is not the club for you.
Yeah, man.
Because I was a big fan.
That's something we at Real Madrid struggle as well. Like sometimes we don't select our players just purely based on merit. It's just based on the trust that Ancelotti has on his players. So I just don't get it. Why doesn't Hansi Flick rate Araujo highly, man? Like he's a really good player.
No, he does. The guy just come back from injury. You have to understand, when you've suffered an injury that's taken you out for over 6 months, you don't just get back into the team. You like, think about it. This guy got injured in the semifinal of the Copa America, right? He hasn't played any preseason, any league game. He hasn't played any football. He's literally has zero match sharpness. That's why in the Champions League, he didn't bring him on because you're still lacking match sharpness. He didn't bring him on in the league. He brought him up against who? Babestro in the Copa del Rey, because he's thinking, this is a game which is winnable. You come in, play 90 minutes, do your thing. You understand what I'm saying, right? Take your time. You just come back from a long-term injury, right? And also, let's be real. Becker's cannot be choosers. Hansi Flick doesn't have a lot of options in defense. Yeah. It's not like you're gonna come in and say, "Oh, he's gonna put you in the bench right away." No, he knows how good Araujo is, and he understands we don't have a lot of center backs right now. Christensen is also coming back from injury; he's still yet to play. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, get back to fitness, get back to match fitness, and then get back on the pitch. Like, I feel like a lot of people have been saying, oh, well, Barcelona were already planning that if he didn't sign a new contract, then the club were going to basically sell him. Yep. Right? Yep. In the summer. Well, listen, at the end of the day, if that time comes and you, in your mind, you still don't think that, because here's the thing with me. If Araujo came back this season, right? In the season, right? Played for the rest of the season, played well, had match sharpness, thinks that, okay, I don't feel like I have a place in this team anymore. I can then understand it and say, okay, well, you've played the half of the season, you feel like you don't have a future here. All right, cool. But the thing with Araujo is you have not played this season. What are you so afraid of? You understand what I'm saying?
Gotta ask Araho, man. I mean, sometimes it's just the media also might be blowing this out of proportion. But yeah, man, let's
Yeah,
actually get back into the preview. Yeah. So part of Musashi says, "Let's go, lads! Another trophy incoming." Yeah, definitely, man. The first trophy of 2025. We are here, and
yeah.
so yeah,
Let's go for it, man. Last season, after last season, after what we, if you guys listen, after what you guys did to us in the Super Cup last season, man,
yeah.
I'm expecting something different this season.
Let's see, let's see.
Let's get the first trophy of
But
the
yeah,
season.
man, let's get into the elephant in the room. Like, all the Madrid fans are wondering, like, what happened to Barcelona? Like, how did you guys fall off so bad? Like, I'll just name the teams that you guys failed to win against, right? Sociedad, Celta, Las Palmas, Betis, Leganes, and then Atleti, of course. Some of those teams I do understand, but what happened? Is it just the loss of form of maybe some players like Lewandowski? I saw that he even had a shocking miss, against Athletic Club, almost an open net.
I mean, look, you see, when we were winning games, I remember even on our preview. Do you remember on our preview what I said? I told you on our preview, if you guys, you guys, we will give you chances. We will definitely give you a lot of chances in that game, and it's going to be high scoring where both teams are just going to be canceling each other out. The issue is, you guys had a striker that day who could not stay on side to save his life. You understand what I'm saying, right? At
11
the end of the day, that's
offsides.
what cost you. Because let's be real, you guys had chances. It's not like you guys didn't have chances to go in. You guys just could not stay on side in the game.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I said this when we were in our winning form. I was saying, yo, defensively, if people start to understand how to cut through our high line, we are gonna be exposed. And you know what's happened? From that moment we won that El Clasico game, we fell off. That game against Real Sociedad was when I saw everything I needed to see. Because when I watched that game, we look like, obviously, people, you know what fans do? They like to always point out one moment in the game and kind of use it as a tool of why we didn't win. Okay, people say, "Oh well, Barcelona had a goal. Lewandowski had a goal that was wrongly ruled off offside." Yes, it was a wrongly ruled off offside. But you know what? I don't understand. Why is it that when Real Sociedad scored, we had zero shots on target after that? We're
Yeah.
trying to challenge for the league. There's no excuses for that. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the things where I'm like, this is the things I'm worried about. I've said this so many times. When Barca concede, I am always worried. When we concede first, I'm always worried because, bro, this team have shown me mentally they don't know how to respond to going down. Like, even in the game against Leganes were bottom of the table. We conceded first. We didn't know how to respond.
Yeah.
Las Palmas,
Yeah. That's what's been
mid-table.
shocking to me, man. Like, you hear, you see that the high line is there to be exploited, and teams maybe have started to figure it out, trying to play around it. But how Barcelona were freely scoring just before the El Clasico, like 5-0, 3-0, 4-0. Like, what happened to that front line trio? Like, why aren't you guys scoring goals anymore?
You know what that is? This Barca team, even in our poor form, you remember we beat Mallorca 5-1.
Yeah.
That is a perfect example where the thing with this Barca team is because we have so many young, inexperienced players. These players have they are so bipolar. You understand what I'm saying, right? When things go well, when we are leading, the players have all of this confidence to just go forward and just score as much goals as they can. But when we concede first, that's where the difference always hits.
Mm.
I said this to you before. When we played you guys, that first half, you dominated. When we got our first goal, everything changed. You just saw a switch in the Barca team. Instantly, we scored a second right after. You guys did not even recover from the first goal. We already had a second one. You understand what I'm saying, right? And throughout the game, you saw how relaxed our players came after we went 2-0 up, right?
So it's just
We
a
were no longer
mentality
afraid.
issue. It's not really something that Hansi Flick has
But
to take blame for.
no, but that's the thing. That is been our season. Every time we play teams and we score first, we always end up dominating.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because these players, they always respond well to going 1-0 up or going 2-0 up. That's why you've noticed in this season, how many times have we gone 3-0 up at halftime? You understand what I'm saying? That's my point. We always go, we're always doing well during when we're winning. Watch us when we concede first, bro. It's every game we played this season, even games where we have won. Look at when we've conceded first, how the team responds to it. It's always different. And I said this, and that Sociedad game was the first one. And I said, yo, you see, this Sociedad game is going to show everybody what people need to see. And when we play our next games, and the teams are going to be looking and saying, listen, let's play defensive and let's score first. Because when we score first, these guys will not know how to respond. Look at it. We played hit Las Palmas and conceded first, and yeah, we equalized, but we did not respond well, and then they scored another one.
Yep.
Against Leganes. Leganes, who were bottom of the table, we conceded in the first 5 minutes. You're thinking, all right, well, early goal doesn't matter. We still have 85 more minutes. And then you're just looking at the team thinking, and bro, you're seeing so many players missing sitters. Lewandowski being absolutely dead up front. Those are not excuses. And this is the thing. I called this out when we were winning. I was saying, eventually people are gonna realize that this Barca team, when they concede first, they're weak. They're mentally weak. This is a mentally weak squad. And I even think against you guys, that's what's going to happen. Because if you guys get our first goal, don't be surprised if you beat us by 4.
Yeah,
don't be surprised. I promise you.
That game could have gone either way. But yeah, man, we have some comments that I feel like you need to address or maybe talk about. So Sunaid obviously saying Barcelona were October champions, and Omar, we would like to ask you why Barcelona as a club celebrate early every time.
Fans are going to be fans, man. Let's be real. Fans are going to be fans. Fans are going to be fans. You know what I'm saying? And also, let's be clear. If you guys were 10 points clear of us around that time of the season, you just beat us 4-0 at the Camp Nou, wouldn't you be confident that you guys would win the league? Would you ever think that you guys would somehow lose 5 games already within like the end of the year around that time? No. Especially the way we were playing.
Yeah.
Like you were seeing it from a Madrid point of view and thinking, this Barca team, they don't look like they're going to stop. So you can't really blame any Barcelona fans for being overconfident. Now, I was obviously happy, but I was more of one of the people who was analyzing the whole game. And my analysis was accurate. Some fans, they're not analyzing, they live in the moment. You understand what I'm saying? They like to live in the moment. Yeah, we're winning, we're doing well, we're one of the best teams, we're dominating, we're winning, scoring goals, we're fluent in attack, everything. But at the end of the day, that's why for some of these people it's always confusing. But for someone like me who's seen this coming, I'm just going to be sitting and saying, yo, why is it that we did not work on these things when we were winning? Many of us were seeing these things.
Yeah, and I feel like it has to fall down on the coach as well. I mean, Hansi Flick has to rally his troops and say, hey guys, you just can't do this like game after game. Because I feel like that's something that Ancelotti, Zidane, these guys just get the locker together, make sure that the players are mentally strong first, and then it doesn't matter about the tactics. If these players can somehow find that extra energy in the last 5 minutes to actually score a goal.
Right. No, I hear you. But listen, at the end of the day, I just think that and also I need to quickly get into this. When it comes down to Barcelona, I'm seeing too much of an over-reliance in Yamal that I don't like. Like Yamal is a great player. Like even the rivals can admit to that. You understand what I'm saying, right? But I feel like we're too over-reliant on this kid.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the start of the season, Rafinha was actually playing better than Yamal. Some people would argue. Even
yes,
Lewandowski.
He was, but this is the thing with Rafinha. During this bad form, he's fallen off.
Yeah.
During this bad form, he has fallen off. You understand what I'm saying? And look, at the end of the day, he's given me enough this season for me to be like, all right, cool. I can give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's just hope that this doesn't continue. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because we need you to continue playing like this if we're ever gonna actually be in and around the title race for the rest of the season. Because we're in the 3-horse race now. This is no longer a Madrid thing anymore. Atletico are now in this title race. You understand what I'm saying? They are in the title race and they just beat us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we have 2 threats. So we need to wake up. We need to wake up and get back to winning form. And Hansi Flick needs to look at the problems in this team and deal with it. I know you have your style of play, but my God, we need to understand. We need to know how to react when we concede first. We're not always going to be the team dominating. There's going to be games where we will be the first to concede. I don't want to be going into games thinking, oh, we'll concede first. Oh, dear. I'm worried. I'm scared. Because that's what has been for me. Every time we concede against every team, I'm always worried. Why am I worried? Because I've seen it too many times this season. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. I mean, mentality is a hard thing to fix, and may or may not happen this season. But you just have to hope that you guys score first. But yeah, man. Let's actually get it back into some of the key matchups before going to the lineups, right? So in the first El Clasico, I guess once De Jong came on, you had more stable midfield where you can pass around our midfielders. And then that's when you exploited our flanks. Lucas Vasquez, obviously an easy choice. So this game, do you feel like the same trend will continue? Is De Jong going to be starting?
De Jong was poor against Bilbao. He nearly gave away a goal. I don't know what's been happening to De Jong, man. Listen, I know De Jong, media, all of this stuff, but dude, I don't know what's going on with the guy, man. I feel like a lot of the stuff going on outside of football is starting to get to him,
Mm.
right? And listen, I'll say this: you're right. He did play well in the El Clasico, but I think Pedri and Casado have been playing so well. It wouldn't surprise me if they start. I think if I honestly, preferably, I think those two should start. You understand what I'm
Wow.
saying? And here's the thing: I will say this against, like I said, I watched your game against Bilbao. I'm sorry, against Mallorca,
Mallorca.
and yeah, and one thing I've noticed when I was watching that game is, and listen, maybe you guys might change the way you guys play when you play against us, but I noticed how you guys were constantly trying to play it in and around these guys in the box, trying to score the perfect goal. Where I'm just like, it's 0-0. Just shoot the ball and score a goal. Like Mbappe was like the biggest one doing that. He was just holding onto the ball, just trying to dribble past everyone in your Mallorca defense. I'm like, bro, pass the ball. Vinicius is standing right there. Bellingham is right there. What are you doing? I'm like, if he plays that way against us, because let me tell you something, against Barcelona, we are not going in there trying to play fluent, beautiful football against you guys. Hansi Flick doesn't do none of this tiki-taka stuff. He's more of gun blazing. You understand what I'm saying, right? And in the final, Danny Olmo is probably going to be starting that game. You understand what I'm saying, right? And you just mentioned the Gavi is another one. He plays so well in the game against Bilbao. Could he potentially start? You
Yeah, man,
understand what
like
I'm saying?
that's an interesting conversation. So if Daniel Olmo has to start, then does that mean Gavi comes off, or is it going to be Gavi and then Cansado at the middle of the park?
Honestly, Pedri has to be in that midfield.
Mhm.
Pedri is one of those players who you don't see what he's. He's very similar to Valverde. Even though Valverde played poorly in your last game, I think he was very poor against Mallorca. Out of all your players, I still look at him and I'm like, he's one of those players you don't see what he does, but he's doing so many things and you just don't see it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the thing with Pedri. Pedri is one of those players. He doesn't do any fancy things when he's playing in the eight, but he's doing his thing. You won't know what he's doing unless he's out of the team. When he's out of the team, when you're like, oh wait a minute, the midfield is different. It's Pedri. You understand what I'm saying? So Pedri has to be there. Casado has to be there. Now the Hansi Flick has to make a choice because Gavi has proven why he should start against Madrid in the final. Is
Yeah,
he gonna
a
start?
goal and an
He might.
assist, not bad at all.
Exactly. So maybe he might start Gavi and then bring Omo in the second half. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I would like to see Gavi be given an opportunity. I also want to see my striker be clinical. Like Lewandowski was absolutely dreadful against bro.
Dude,
This
has it
guy,
okay?
we needed this
Like,
striker next season,
correct me
man.
if I'm wrong. Like, hasn't he been horrible in the last couple of years as well? And then he just in the starting of the season, the first 6 months, he's just been looking like a real striker again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I even said this when he was scoring all these goals. I said, you know what it is? A lot of these guys, they don't watch a lot of football. They're more of stats people. They just want to read stats and tell you, well, this guy scored 26 goals or he scored 23 goals or 24 goals and all these stuff. Yeah, he scored 24 goals. This guy would have had 40 if he was actually clinical.
Yeah.
That's what I've always said. At the end of the day, 11, bro, do you know how many games I'm watching? Look at the game against Leganes when we needed a goal. How many chances this guy was missing?
Yeah.
Even in the game against Bilbao, he was having opportunities and missing them. Like he had one where he hit the post from close range. There's no excuse for that. You're an experienced striker. But it's one of those things where I'm like, listen, man, I feel like his time is up. His time is up. He's like, come on, this guy's the same age as Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema plays in Saudi Arabia. Come on, man, with all due respect. Like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, time moves on. It's the way football evolves. So at the end of the day, he just needs to move on.
Yeah.
We
But
need to move him on and get him in the
someone might
starting
need to
team.
convince Hansi Flick because Lewandowski is one of his favorite players. But yeah, I think we have a decent idea of the lineup. So who again is gonna start in the back line? I know you guys don't have a lot of
Okay.
options. Araujo's not gonna start. Yeah.
Okay. Now with the whole thing situation, I don't see him starting. I'm gonna say, is he gonna start? He probably will play Chesney in goal again because
Hmm.
Chesney played well. Chesney coming out of his box was worrying me, man. Do you see how many times he went out of his box and was missing the ball? Don't do that against Mbappe, man. I swear to God, don't do that against Mbappe. But I'll say this, right? Yeah, Chesney in goal, same centre back partnership, Inigo and Kubashi. Even though Kubashi was dreadful in the game. He almost gave away a goal as well. And he's been poor. I know people love Kubashi, but let's be real, he's not been having a good he's not been good. I've been watching him a few times. Very, very he's been caught a few times, right? So yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Kubashi and Inigo was the
right when you
partnership.
said that, Sunil is in the comments. He says, impressed with Kubarsi. He's hung out to dry with the high line. So is it just mismatch,
No, he has his moments. He's doing well. His control, his passing is good. But here's the thing as well. He has his bozo moments, and also I kind of put that into more of he's a youngster. He's still learning, so obviously he's gonna make mistakes. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just be like, oh well, this and this and this. You know what I mean? Like he's a youngster, man. At his age for him to be doing what he's doing is incredible. So at the end of the day, I'll give him leeway. But yeah, that's the centre back partnership. Fullbacks speak for themselves. Kunde and Balde is going to be the partnership. I think Casado and Pedri are going to be, the ones sitting in the midfield. Like I said, I think Gavi, after this game he had, I'm sure Hansi Flick will probably start him. Rafinha and Yamal will be back in the team. I'm glad that Yamal was substituted early after he scored. That's a very, very good thing. And obviously Lewandowski will be front. So yeah, that's basically the same lineup as the
same lineup? Yeah,
Bilbao one, basically. Mhm.
got it. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's actually go into the ad break, and when we're back, we'll talk about the Real Madrid lineup and the predictions and whatnot. Doris, take it away.
Hola, Madridistas. I'm back once again to remind you that if you want to help and support this project of ours, this channel, you can do so by going to manscaped.com, using our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping worldwide. That's our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. You help us out and you get a cool product. This time I'm here to introduce you guys to the Chairman Pro. It is a trimmer that features two interchangeable blade heads, one called the blade foil, which is to get that super smooth baby skin, and the other one is called the stubble trimmer, for if you want to still have that little bit of stubble but look a bit cleaner and fresher. You can do both with the same trimmer. It also features flex adjust technology. It adjusts it to your face, how you shave. You can also lock it for a full precision. Best thing is waterproof. You can shave yourself in the shower if you want to. It's completely waterproof. It features 75 hours of battery life. So if you're going on some kind of travel, you can charge it beforehand and it will still have enough battery for the trip. Also, if you're going on a trip, you can lock it so that it doesn't turn on as you go. It has an LED. It's a great thing, and especially now that Christmas is coming up, if you want to send it as a gift to your boyfriend, or if you're a man, get it for yourself or your brother, dad. It's a great gift for any man, and this bad boy can even get up to like 5 days of beard, so you don't even need to trim it down before you can fully shave it. This does it for you. So yeah, get this at manscaped.com. Use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Thank you for watching, and back to the video.
Yeah,
It's one of those games. It's just
yeah,
like it's
we're
very
back,
similar to
folks,
what I
and
said.
we were just talking about the defensive frailties of both teams, and both teams can kind of punish you if those frailties are exploited. But yeah, man, it's going to be a wild one. I'm going to read a couple of the comments. Farouk says, "Shout out Omar, my respect," and Ashik says, "Omar seems like a more reasonable cooler. They exist." So finally, you get the respect you
What you think,
deserve,
man?
man.
We're not all crazy, man. Yeah,
Right.
man.
Pata Mustashi
Appreciate
says,
you.
Farooq is in the chat to meet his prodigal son. Finally, you get the respect that you deserve, Omar. But yeah, let's talk about the Real Madrid lineups. I feel like it's going to be same like the Barcelona lineup. It's pretty much going to be the same lineup that we saw against Mallorca. It's going to be, unfortunately, Lucas Vazquez at right back. Tchouaméni and Rudiger at the defensive partnership. Mendy starting obviously to keep a track of Yamal. Let's see if he has better luck, from the last game. I feel like his form has maybe improved just looking at his Mallorca game, but I don't know. It's Yamal. It's gonna be tough. Obviously, in the midfield, we're gonna start with probably. I mean, this is the thing, right? Ancelotti trusts Valverde, Camavinga, Bellingham to start in the midfield. Plus, you know, he's had to bring on Ceballos, but I feel like as a Madrid fan, just looking at the merit pace form, Ceballos should be starting because he helps our build up so much. I just don't understand when Ancelotti doesn't start him. And yeah, the front line, it's going to be Mbappe and Vinicius. That's what we were just talking during the break. It's just that if Mbappe actually learns to be on side, then he's going to get his chances, man. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully for me, he doesn't. And I'm not gonna lie, out of all your attackers, he's probably the one I'm least worried about. Because, dude, this guy, he does too much, man. He does too much. He doesn't just do the basics. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
If he just did the basics, I feel like he would be more scarier. But I feel like with Mbappe, he's trying to do too much sometimes, especially against.
The reason is that all of the dribbles that he does, it used to work against Ligue 1 teams, and now since he has tighter things, it just those movements aren't working out, and it's not his natural position, right? Like I feel like in the bigger games, sometimes Mbappe does shift to the left flank, and then maybe that change of pace might work. But then in the middle of the park, he's just not been able to dribble past anyone. But I do like his combination play in the last couple of games. It's been decently good. So yeah, there is an uptick in form. It all depends on if he can actually stay on side.
Nah, completely hear it. And for your sake, I hope he is. I mean, for your sake, but for my sake, I hope that he doesn't. Listen, but we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, it's going to be very interesting because I'm going to say the same thing that I said last time we did this preview. It's one of those games where if you guys do what you need to do, I think you guys will win. If we do what we need to do, we can win. It's that simple. Because I think that both teams have similar strengths and similar weaknesses as well.
Yep. Rajat is in the chat as well. He says Vinny looks distracted at the moment. Doubt Ancelotti is going to drop him. I mean, it doesn't matter, man. You need your best player on the pitch. I mean, at least since the start of the year or early in December, Bellingham genuinely has been our best player. But you gotta have Vinny to actually hurt Barcelona. He's even more crucial than Mbappe.
Bellingham is just one of those. Bellingham's game just is funny to me because this guy, right?
Why is it funny?
I remember even his goal even made me. So I was watching the guy. I was like, "Yo, this guy, he's not doing anything," and then he just scores right when I said that. I'm like, "Yo, why does this guy always do this? He does nothing in the game, and then all of a sudden, boom, he just scores."
Dude, that finish was one of the most. I mean, I don't think a lot of strikers could have put that ball away, but that finish, that really impressed.
Look at that goal! That goal was literally it. Everyone, Mbappe was missing chance. Vinny, good cross into the box. Rodrigo missed it. Mbappe missed it, and then Bellingham just pops in.
There's 5-6 players in front of him, still got it in somehow.
Yeah, I mean he's very clinical. I'll give him that definitely.
Yeah,
he's very clinical.
All right, man. Let's go to the predictions, but before that, Sunil says Mbappe has turned the corner. Omar, update your search, and I mean, Sunil, I hear you, man. I think go ahead.
My opinions on Bellingham. I'm not saying Bellingham is a terrible player. I just think that
it's not Bellingham, it's Mbappe.
Mbappe. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know he's still scoring goals, but dude, I still see the things that I was seeing before. I still see a lot of it. Like even the game against, bro, I was watching that. I was like, bro, why is this guy in the box just dribbling past people when there are players that are free in the box?
Yeah.
I know there's 3 players covering you, but you're telling me that if there are 3 players covering you, there's clearly a player who's available. You know how many times I saw Rodrigo and Vinicius just standing there waiting for the ball? Like, bro, open your eyes, man. And that's my point. He does a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'll say, right? Mbappe, I feel like Sunil is right. His form has improved, especially his combination play at the edge of the box. It's when he gets into the box, when he's trying to get past his man, that that's where the trouble starts. He still hasn't figured out that change in pace that used to make him so deadly. But yeah, enough about it, man. I feel like Omar, you have another stream coming up, but yeah, let's wind this up.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a prediction for this match? It's gonna be hard.
Of course. You're right. It's just one of those games where it could
Could
go
go
either
either
way.
way.
But as a Barca fan, I'm going to always lean to my team winning. So I'm going to go. Jeez. I think that you guys might actually score this time, if I'm going to be very honest. I think this time you will learn your lessons. And again, maybe you won't. But I'm going to go 2-1 Barca. 2-1
One
Barca.
Barca.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say
We'll
it's
get the first goal. If we
first
get the
goal.
first goal. If we get the first goal. If we don't get the first goal, you are going to lose. You can just know that. If we concede first, we're losing the game. And we could
There you
concede
go.
like 3 goals. We could lose heavy. Because Madrid haven't forgotten what we did to them before, man. You can be rest assured. They're coming. They want to give us a beat down in the Super Cup final. I can
Yeah,
tell you that.
that's what all Liverpool fans think. Like, we smell blood. We just want to go out and somehow get the revenge that we want. But I think it's going to be a difficult game. I think it's going to be a 1-1, and then we're going to actually get in the penalty shootout. Remember, there's no extra time
That's
and
actually
whatnot.
very realistic.
Yeah,
That's the most realistic scoreline, to be perfectly honest. That's why I said 2-1, because I'm just like, it's not going to be one of those games where it's just going to be clear, man.
yeah,
It could be, but it's very unlikely.
yeah. Let's see. But yeah, it's a hard one to predict. But yeah, folks. Thanks, Ashik, Sunay, Rajat, all of you guys. Musashi, you as well. Thanks for keeping us company, and hope you guys all have a great game. And once we're back, we'll start covering the previews for La Liga and the Copa del Rey games as well. But yeah, thanks Omar for joining us, and until next time, Hala Madrid, folks.
It's Barca.